Hey guys, welcome back to NoLogic. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Aftershock Vapor 17X gaming laptop. Is this 17-inch ultra gaming machine for you? Continue watching to find out. Let's go. Firstly, let's look at the specs of the Vapor 17X. It has an Intel i7-10870H processor with 8 cores and 16 threads. There is actually a Ryzen 9 version of this laptop as well, and that is the Vapor 17R. I would expect the Ryzen 9 variant to perform quite a bit better than the Intel version. For the graphics card, we have an RTX 3060 laptop GPU with 6GB of video RAM, which boosts from 90 watts up to 115 watts. This graphics card should perform quite well in games, as we will see later. You can also configure this laptop with the even more powerful RTX 3070 graphics card with 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM, which can boost up to 125 watts. Do note that the Ryzen version of this laptop only comes with the RTX 3070 graphics card. Next, it also has 32GB of 3200MHz RAM, but it is limited to 2933MHz as the Intel chip only allows RAM for up to that speed. This shouldn't affect the real world performance too much though. If you are based in the USA, you can get this laptop with the same chassis from Eluktronics. This model is known as the Eluktronics Max17 and comes in these GPU-CPU combinations. I will leave the links of these in the description below if you want to check it out. Next, let's take a look at the hardware and features of the Vapor 17X. Do note that most of these apply to the Vapor 17R and the Max17 too, as they have the same chassis. First, we have the build quality. The deck and the lid are made of a premium magnesium material and the matte finish feels great. The bottom panel is made out of plastic however, but it feels sturdy. The lid opens easily with one finger as most of the weight is at the bottom. Speaking of weight, the Vapor 17X weighs just 2.3 kg, which is great for a 17-inch gaming laptop. It is also quite thin at just 2 cm thick. Moving on, there is little to no deck flex or keyboard flex because of the premium material, but there is some screen wobble due to its large screen size. Speaking of screen, the Vapor 17X has an amazing display. It is a 1440p 165Hz 17.3-inch screen and it looks absolutely stunning. I would say this is the perfect sweet spot between screen resolution and refresh rate, especially when paired with the RTX 3000 series GPUs. It also has a wide color gamut of 72% NTSC and 100% coverage of the sRGB spectrum, which is great for a gaming laptop. Viewing angles on it were great too, as this is an IPS panel. This screen is definitely one of my most favorite parts of this laptop. Next, we have the webcam. It is a 720p camera that is situated at the top bezel of the screen, and I think that is the best place for a webcam. It also has sensors for Windows Hello recognition, which is convenient. This is how videos taken on the Apex 17R sound and look like. This is how it sounds like when I'm typing. And this is how it sounds like when the fan's running on maximum speed. You can still hear it clearly while the fan's running. Moving on, we have the keyboard. The keyboard on the Aftershock Vapor 17X is a nice tactile membrane keyboard and it is great to type on. All the keys have a very square shape to it and I quite like it. Typing on it feels great and the key stabilization is good. As a bonus, it is also quite quiet when typing too. The layout of the keyboard is good, but I feel that the function keys could be a bit bigger. The keyboard also features 4-zone RGB which can be configured in the Control Center app. Overall, it is a great keyboard for typing and gaming. Next, we have the trackpad. It is a decently sized glass trackpad and is responsive. However, there is some extra space here at the bottom which could have been used. The Vapor 17X has a massive 91.24 Wh battery, which is amazing. I would expect decent battery life out of this laptop when using it lightly. However, like most gaming laptops, it probably won't last very long when gaming. It does come with a massive 230 watt power supply to keep the GPU and CPU running at full power. Next, we have the speakers. The speakers on the Vapor 17X are very loud and have a slight distortion at the highest volumes. However, During normal use, the sound quality was quite good. For a gaming laptop, the speakers are great. Finally, we have the ports. On the left, there is a USB 3.1 Type A port, a headphone jack, and a microphone jack. On the right, there are two more USB 3.1 Type A ports and a micro SD card slot. On the back, there is a power inlet, a gigabit Ethernet port, a HDMI port, and a USB Type-C port which does not have Thunderbolt 3. I would say the port selection is fine, but a full-sized SD card slot and Thunderbolt support would have been better. Next, let's look at some games and benchmarks. First, we have Minecraft with intensive shaders with volumetric lighting. With the render distance set to 24 chunks and fancy graphics, I could consistently get 60 to 70 FPS at 1440p. This is actually significantly better than the other RTX 20 series laptops that I reviewed, which got about 40 to 50 FPS at 1080p. This game is a good example as to see how good the RTX 3060 in a laptop actually is. Moving on, we have Fortnite. With all settings set to epic, I could consistently get 70 FPS at 1440p resolution. This is good performance, especially with max settings. You could get some better performance to make use of the 165Hz display by reducing some settings or reducing the resolution to 1080p. Finally, we have GTA 5. I set all the settings to very high and ran the inbuilt benchmark. At 1440p, I got a great frame rate of above 120 FPS throughout the benchmark. This is really good performance for a relatively demanding game like GTA 5 on maximum settings. Next, we have the benchmarks. For the Cinebench R20 benchmark, I got an average score of over 2900 points, which is great for an 8-core 16-thread processor. Do note that I changed the PL1 and PL2 of the CPU to 120 watts in the SPC settings on the control panel app to get this score. I'm excited to see what the Ryzen 9 can deliver in the R series laptops Aftershock offers. Finally, we have DaVinci Resolve 17.1. I rendered my video on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and I got a render time of 3 minutes and 38 seconds for the project, which is good. I will leave the link to the project archive of the video and you can test it out on your own machines to compare with this one. For all the benchmarks and games, the CPU temperatures reach about 85 degrees Celsius while the GPU reached about 80 degrees Celsius. There was no visible thermal throttling and the fans got quite loud. Overall, I think that the Aftershock Vapor 17X is a great 17-inch laptop with powerful RTX 3000 series GPUs. It has an amazing display, a huge battery and a nice keyboard. It starts at 2,235 Singapore dollars and I think it is worth it considering all the features it packs. I will leave the link in the description below if you want to check it out. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!